Today we are diving into the question section of the VERSANT test, both in the previous VERSANT speaking test and new format VERSANT speaking and listening test. In the previous setup, it's part C, questions, when in the new one, it's part A, give a short answer to your question. Give a short answer to the question. Now, here's the scoop. There has been a major drop in the number of questions from 24 questions in the previous format to 8 in the new VERSANT speaking and listening test. Why this change? Well, in the past, vocabulary had its own scoring category, but now it's integrated into speaking scores. Plus, in the new format, things kick off with a bang right at the start of part A, unlike the previous warm-up vibe. Because part A in the previous VERSANT speaking test is reading, where you are to read aloud some sentences. And there are more open-ended questions, which can be a bit nerve-wracking. They really test your vocabulary and understanding. While there are still some A or B questions, there's a shift towards questions where you got to come up with the answer yourself. So vocabulary is the key. So looking at the whole picture, sections like listening and reading, or maybe repeating and retelling, are not too difficult to prep for your own. But actually, the question part can be a bit tough to get ready for, and there's a good amount of luck involved too. Sometimes you feel like you know everything, and other times you are totally lost. One thing that trips you up is when everyday words like, let's say, detergent show up. To native English speakers, they are basic, but to English learners like us, they can be tough. It's interesting how what's considered easy can vary. Plus, those everyday words often are not in typical vocabulary books, making it even trickier to study for. Sometimes you get questions that you understand, but then you're like, wait, did I get that in my own language? Yeah, it's like even after living abroad for ages, there are still words that don't pop up in your native tongue. Like you might know tanker truck, but when do you actually use that, right? And kids surprisingly seem to know a lot about things like vehicle names, stationery, animals, stuff that we adults might not use every day. So prepping for tests like VERSANT is a bit of a challenge, but there are some cool resources out there, like those kids puzzle or riddle books in English. They help you learn new words. This part question has got that puzzle or riddle vibe, no tricks, but they feel kind of like riddles. Let's say, what is red and used for blah, 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 sounds like a preschool riddle, right? You can find loads of them online. And reading children's stories or picture books is actually a great way to learn. They are surprisingly tough in English for English learners like us. And there are tons of words that you won't find in regular vocabulary books. So libraries usually stock them, children's books or picture books, and there are online subscribing platforms too. And you might even find them on YouTube, like children's stories. So bottom line, exposing yourself to everyday words, whether it's vehicles, animals, or household items, is key. Yeah, focusing on everyday words instead of just typical test vocabulary might be the way to go. And yeah, we might even make some videos to help with that. See you